Hello again and welcome back to Ásgarðr. We're going to jump right back in. We were in the middle of digging some coal out of the side of this mountain. I am on level 10. Or I have 10 levels of experience. Since, as I mentioned, experience is used in this game, that means your experience level actually rises and falls. You get experience and then you use experience. So I may be on level 10 now, but if I use some experience, then I'll suddenly be on level 9 or level 8 or level 2 or level 1. And of course, if you die, you lose all your experience. So, oh, I missed one. 2 actually. And so, unless you can pick it up, because when you die, your stuff drops wherever you were when you died. Most of your stuff. Some of it may be lost, but the vast majority of it's still there and stays there for a few minutes. So you can actually, if you're close enough, you can go and pick it up again. Hey, howdy. I don't have, anyway. So that was all the coal visible. But, and experience points, the little experience point orbs do drop, but not all of them, meaning you don't get everything back. So you can get some of your experience back, but not all of it if you die. And of course, if you don't get to it in time, then you get none of it. Oh look, we have a friend. This friend's name is Squid. Say hi, Squid. I'm tempted to end Squid's life. When you're underwater, you see those bubbles on the right side above my hunger bar? That's your air bar. And every time you come above the surface, it disappears because you're fine, and then it replenishes as you go under. So you have a certain amount of time underwater. You can get certain special enhancements, I should say enchantments, that will allow you to stay underwater for longer. That will allow you to, because when you try to break things underwater, it tends to be really slow compared to doing it outside of water. Especially if you're talking about breaking. Oh, the sun is going down. Let me go back over to go back home. Especially if you're talking about breaking stone and things like that. Oh, there's another one. 2 more. Wow, I've got lots of squid friends. 3 more. So if you're talking about breaking those things underwater, it takes quite a while. But with some enchantments, you can break them as if you weren't underwater, so that's kind of nice. Alright, once again, I need to fill in some of that water as well, so that it isn't so difficult to get where I want to go. Alright. More coal. I think I'm going to actually start to store it more compactly. And the way we can do that is 9 coal together in a square like this, all covered, makes 1 block of coal. So I have 7 blocks of coal right there. If I hit, the default is Shift plus right click on the output, it will grab all of those at once and put them into my inventory. Just like that. I can do it again. I can actually put more in than just the 1 block, obviously. I can just fill it in, and then that's 16 blocks of coal. Each block of coal represents 9 individual pieces of coal, and I can put the blocks of coal in my crafting grid and get the 9 back out. So it's perfectly transferable between blocks of coal and regular coal, which is nice. Not all objects that you can turn into blocks can be turned right back into the components, but this one can. So now I have 16 blocks of coal and 3 pieces of coal rather than the 120, 150 odd pieces of coal that I had. And now I can compactly store them. So that's cool. I think that's the only thing I can store that way right at the moment. Some other things can be stored in blocks like that, or bales if we're talking about wheat, but none of the things that we currently have. I'm going to eventually, not that far in the future, have to make another chest because this one's already over half full. Okay, got more birch wood. I've been using my oak. I guess there are a lot of birches out there. There's probably more birches than oaks, but there are also quite a few oaks. So I've been using my oak planks recently, my oak wood. I should probably be using some of my birch wood as well. Alright, let's go mine some more. I am okay with mining on different levels all the way down the sort of geological column, but the best stuff all ends up being close to the bottom, and the stuff that's up towards the top pretty much, as far as I know, can all be found at the bottom anyway, so I spend most of my mining time at the bottom of the world, which takes a little while to get up and down. I'll probably eventually put a ladder in, which is quite a bit faster, and a drop zone. When I say a drop zone, I'm referring to one of the fun things about Minecraft is one depth of water, 1 block's depth of water will keep you from dying. If you can land directly in that 1 block of water, you won't be injured by the fall, no matter how far you fall. So you can fall from way up in the air, hundreds of blocks in the air, into 1 block's depth of water, and you'll survive just fine. That may be changed in a future version of Minecraft, but at the moment that's the way it is. And that's kind of fun because that means that you can set up, like I said, a drop zone where you have just a small area of water at the bottom and you have a column of open blocks, open air, and drop from, say, your base all the way down to the basement, all the way down to the bedrock, and be okay. So it's a lot faster than climbing down a ladder. More redstone. I'm finding a lot of redstone. Of course, it is pretty common down at this level. And again, I'm taking out this dirt because dirt is faster to break than stone is. I'll get back to mining stone in a bit. Probably when I run out of dirt to mine. So probably light up this area a little. I tend to like to put my torches on the ground. The reason I do that is because mobs always spawn on the ground. They can never spawn in the air, unless they're spawning on top of like a tree or something, but they always spawn on solid blocks, and you want the greatest light to be where they're going to spawn to stop them from spawning. If I put a torch on the wall, the ground doesn't get quite as much light as the area right beside the torch. So if I put the torch on the ground, the area around the torch gets the most possible light. If I put it on the side, it's probably about the same, but that means that I'm wasting a little bit of the light because there's blocks here in the place of where the light would be, essentially. I don't always put them in the middle, obviously, but I try to space them out well enough that we're being efficient with our resources. More redstone. A lot of redstone, which is nice. I don't use redstone a ton personally, to be honest, but I do use it for some things, such as when I have some. Eventually, I'll probably have some minecarts and minecart tracks, and when you do, redstone is nice because it allows you to actually. I don't have any decorative stone at all. Let's take a little. You can make these, I forget the correct term for them, but I call them booster tracks, that allow you to go a lot faster and go up hills and things like that in your minecart. So I do use it for those kinds of things, but I don't use it for most of the mechanisms. I haven't really learned very well how to do redstone mechanisms very well. Sophisticated mechanisms, because you can do all kinds of things with redstone actually. But because I don't know a lot about it yet, I don't really do it yet. You can see I'm kind of favoring the decorative stone right now because I like the idea of using it to fill in since it doesn't take as long to break the second time around. Okay. Looks like we've gotten everything here. We've exposed everything that we can using the dirt, and we've also dug out some of the other stuff. I think I'm going to actually possibly start a branch mine. So the principle of a branch mine is like this. We dig a straight passage in one direction, and off of that passage we have, most of the time you would have side passages on either side. The straight passage, I tend to make a pretty large one, like 3 by 3 large, and then the side passages I usually make 2 tall and 1 wide, so they're very, very small. But then I make them every 2 blocks, or every 3 blocks, I guess. So we could have one passage here, let's say. Then we have our passage this way. Don't want to try to break those just yet. And then our next side passage would be here. Because, I'm doing this to not interfere with the redstone, because that way we know there is no resource lost in the middle. Because here we can see all the resources on the sides here, and here we can see all the resources on the sides here. The only place we don't know, and here we can see the resources on the floor, we can see the resources on the ceiling. So we can actually, with just the 2 by 1, some people like to do 3 by 1, depending. With just this here, we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks around us, if there's anything there. The only places we can't tell if there are resources are above this block, so up there we can't see, and below this block. So we have 2 blocks here that we don't see, and 2 blocks here that we don't see, or 2 rows, I guess you could say. But everything else we see. Sometimes I don't do my branch mines at the very where bedrock is. I tend to do them a little bit higher because I know that diamonds, which are the best resource in the entire game, make the strongest tools, make the best armor, everything. They most frequently appear at about levels, I think it's 10 to 13, something like that. And so since bedrock comes in at level 5, we want to go up a few levels to actually start our branch mine if we want to really do one. So that's why I do my branch mines close to bedrock, but not actually on bedrock. All right. I think I am going to start a branch mine. So if this is level 5, which I believe it is, based on where the bedrock is, as you can see, some bedrock is down lower, some bedrock is slightly higher, but this is the highest bedrock of all. And the highest bedrock of all is on level 5. So we want to go up 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we want to basically start a branch mine somewhere around here. If we run into caverns, I'll probably close off the entrance for the moment and then come back when I'm better prepared. But it's either 10 or 11. I guess it depends on if I want to do 3 high or 2 high. If I want to just do 2 high, or maybe it's 13 to 16. I can't remember. I think I was doing it. Well, I know that I might have to look that up. It's going to bug me now. Anyway, we could just wing it, see how it goes. I think I'm going to probably make a small sort of staging area, slightly off my initial ladder, my initial stairs. And we'll probably end up putting a chest down here, at least one, to put stuff in that I'm going to want here, resources like tools that I'm going to want, or more likely I'm just going to put like the different stone I get and things like that. Anyway, hope you liked this episode so far, or hope you liked this episode, and we'll see you once again in our next episode.